charge for a painting?
50 guineas.
50 guineas? That's rather expensive. Wouldn't it be cheaper in the nude?
No, same price.
One day he's walking down the street, minding his own business, suddenly looks into the letterbox. One of these red letterboxes standing in. He said, well, how did you get in there? Well, the best thing you can do is get your mouth near the hole. I'll see if I can get somebody to get you out. Well, don't move about too much. You'll use up the oxygen. I'll go and get somebody. And by the time he'd finished, there's about 20 people standing round the letterbox after Eddie, walking away saying, well, I don't know how you got in there in the first place.
I have here a empty cabinet. And to prove it is empty, I will bang it on the side, on the hot side, and under jolly neath. And I'm not going to waste my time here. I will show you what's here. There, now, what's the idea? Now, once I get the cabinet to work... Now, listen here. Now, once I start... Oh!
Tommy Trinder, as you know, is a teetotaler, and he was sitting there with a glass of water beside him. And on the way out, Eddie Gray went past him, took his false teeth out and dropped it into Tommy's glass of water.
Later! There's more to come!
2 newspaper reporters came round to interview him. And they asked him all sorts of things. Did he have a hobby? Eddie said, hobby? I've got no time for hobbies. I've got a milk round to do to make both ends meet. And believe it or not, they turned the tables on him completely. The next day in the Daily Mirror, there was quite a big report. Crazy Gang star has to do milk round to make both ends meet. And there's a lot of truth behind that story, although he never did a milk round, naturally. Because although he was one of the stars of the Crazy Gang, and he only got £35 a week.
What's the idea? Get out of it, get out of it. Hey, show you me with me jolly honours.
One thing about the London Palladium, wherever you go, there's music hall history. We've just discovered a photograph, a wonderful photograph, the finale of a Royal Command performance here at the Palladium in October 1935 in front of Her Majesty Queen Mary and King George V. And as you look along the line, there's Wilma Holy, there's Harry Champion, there's Florrie Ford, there's Joe Jackson, and most of all, smartly dressed, not too proud to go to Moss Bros for a command performance, the Crazy Gang. Marvellous. Here we are in the one spot that every variety artist loves to look at on the night of a Royal Variety Show, where the royal family through the ages have sat here. So there was always a warm-up, and the things that happened, people concentrating more or less on the box and waiting for the royal family to come in, and suddenly they'd see the door open. Yes, here they come, and lo and behold, be Norton and Gold dressed as 2 cleaners, coming just rushing around and walking out again.
Chocolates? Programme, sir?
No, we've got to ask.
Well, what arm's another little programme going to do
I
here?
don't want one.
Have a nice eye.
I don't want an ice.
Have this one. It's beginning to run.
No, go away.
Now you've touched it, you've got to have it.
The producer, Charlie Henry, would always say at rehearsals, he'd say, now don't forget at the end of your act, 1 nod to the audience, 1 nod to the box, 1 nod to the audience, and back to your digs. And that was his favourite expression. But the gang, when they went on, they became so popular, they were so family conscious, you know, they were accepted so much with the Queen and Her Majesty, that they walked on when Prince Charles was born with a rocking horse and handed it up to the box. They said, "Oh, Mrs. for the nipper." They took liberties.
The King and Queen used to come and sit down here, and they used to go back in the box and have a chat with them, you see. And they used to have fabricated houses along here. I don't know if you remember the show. And the rail train would go by and they'd all shake. And Jimmy used to come out to go to an outside toilet thing, and he'd come out with a seat over his head, you know, nice clean gag, but it was a laugh. And when they were up in talking to the King and Queen, he said, well, why didn't you do this? Because Princess Margaret told us about you coming out with this. Why didn't you? He said, well, we didn't like to do it because you were being royalty. And they always said you should have done it.
Ever see the show we played before Queen Victoria? Prince Albert, King Edward VII.
You see, they can be more earthy, what shall I say, the pure dirt of the musical.
I've passed nothing but snow and ice since yesterday morning.
A nice cup of hot coffee will soon put that right.
It was very strange because when they worked in London, it all had to be covered by the Lord Chamberlain's office, and each page of your script was stamped by the Lord Chamberlain that it was passed. But when you went out to the tour in the provinces, the local watch committee overruled that. So whatever the Lord Chamberlain said you could do, the watch committee could say no on a Monday night, and you had to take it out.
Oh, by the way, Papa.
Yes,
Oh, come along, Papa. It's been a nice day, Papa.
Oh, absolutely.
I say, by the way, how's Mrs. Papa?
She's quite all right.
How's all the little Papa?
Splendid.
I haven't seen Willie Farquhar lately.
No.
Sit down, Papa.
I will.
The late George Black finally decided he'd like to put productions on with the crazy gang, with the same crazy element. He started off with March Hare's London Rhapsody. Life Begins at Oxford Circuits, that's one I shan't forget because I took that on tour. I played Bud Flanagan's part with an English accent. Roundabout Regent Street, These Foolish Things, The Little Dog Laughed, and the one everybody remembers, OK for Sound.
This chair has been on every picture I've ever made, all over the world. It was given to me by Will Hay after Good Morning Boss. It was the first studio chair I ever had with my name on it, and I was terribly proud of it. And I used it for the first time on OK for Sound. And I hadn't been sitting in it more than 5 minutes studying my script when Bud Flanagan lit a candle under it. And in 5 minutes, there was a hole in the chair, there was a hole in my pants, and I mean, for the first time, the hot foot had become the hot seat.
I want us for the pictures.
Yeah, are we going to see the film actresses?
Oh, shut up, Cecil. Look, I got a film face, Dracula. Shut up.
Married Edgar and myself were asked to go and see the show, which we did several times at the Palladium. And we sat wondering how in God's name are we ever going to get this onto a screen, because it was a complete madhouse.
Well, there are picture titles all around it. Here's one.
You going somewhere?
No, Top Hat.
Top Hat. Oh, Top Hat, I see what the Top Hat reminds you of the picture called... See, look at that blue bottle.
Look. Got it.
What's that?
Escape Me Never.
Oh, here's a picture, look. Don't blame me.
I know it, Ted.
What?
She married her boss.
Here's a picture. Here's a picture.
Wait a minute, what's this?
We're not dressing.
Here's a picture. Look at this. Just a minute. What's this?
Mutiny on the Bounty. Here's a picture. Give me 2 bob for it.
2 bob, huh?
Trade a horn.
Oh, here's another picture. Look at this. What's this? Tudor Rose.
Here you are. There's a picture.
Wait a minute, what are you doing with the paving stone?
Under 2 flags.
Here, look what I found. A tin of Keating's powder.
What's that for?
If I had $1 million.
Well, cheerio, boy.
Cheerio.
Oh, wait a minute, what's this?
Oil for the lamp to China. Here, buddy, is one.
The ghost goes west.
Show us the hammer. Here's one.
What's that?
Farewell to arms. Come here, what? Come here. What's that? The general died at dawn. Here you are, boys. This is worth a fortune. What's this? The camels are coming.
Ah, last night while going up the stair, I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. I really wish he'd go away.
Who is it?
The Invisible Man.
The first script conference we had with the Crazy Gang, which was before we'd written the script, we just had the storyline. We started at 9:30 in the morning, which was a terrible job to get the boys there anyway, because they slept all day mostly. We sat from 9 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon in sheer chaos, because all they could do was to say, look, why don't we put in the thing we did at Scunthorpe? Do you remember when we had the geese that came out of the basket?
Look, geese. Contact!
When you're writing for 6 comedians, each one of them a star in their own right, it's extremely difficult, because you suddenly find you've gone 10 pages and Charlie Norton hasn't had a line. So we devised a scheme, and we used to put a chart up, one of those graph charts up on the wall over there, and we used to tick off as each one had a line.
Let's take it in alphabetical order. I'm G for...
You had to tailor these 3 acts into 3 compartments and yet still keep them in the story as a gang.
greatest ambition in life took place here, one way. I joined the Crazy Gang. Now, the Crazy Gang were my pals. We're almost boys together. I spent a better life than they did, so I lasted longer. But, you know, I got booked to join the Crazy Gang. Here was the realisation of a life's ambition. Unfortunately, it was a record-breaking show, inasmuch it was the shortest run ever at the London Palladium, thanks to Hitler.
Nur auf diese Weise kann das Dritte Reich den Frieden für die kommenden 1000 Jahre versichern. Die Westmächte und die Sonne.
The first time I worked with a gang was a show called Top of the World at the London Palladium. And unfortunately, it was the time that Mr. Hitler decided that it was his time, and it became very noisy. And we went on. The last week of rehearsal, it became terribly noisy, so much so that we couldn't hear each other's lines. And suddenly one day, about 11 o'clock in the morning, someone said, "Where's Bud? Where's Bud? What's happened to Bud?" And what had happened to Bud was that he left rehearsals, grabbed himself a taxi, said Blackpool, and went. There were so many mementos coming down right, left and centre that Tommy Trinder ran a book, a gambling thing, as to who would be on when the next one fell, you see. Well, it was always Tommy. And Bud always said, "Poetic justice, poetic justice."
Any questions? I've got one. Hey, I've got one. Well, kill it. Now. Not that, you twerp.
Oh, here, I'll lend you some money.
Where are you going to get me money from?
Well, my mum sent me out to buy a pair of corsets. You can have that money. When will I get it back?
5, 10, 15 or 20 years.
Oh, that's all right. So you're not expecting me back yet?
Not only that, son, there'll be a profit at the end of it, and you'll be able to buy your mother several pairs of corsets.
Oh, she only wants one pair.
Why?
Well, she's only got one.
Any further questions?
Yes, sir. What about these 3% defence bonds?
Well, you can buy them in £5 or multiple of £5. Get them at the post office or your local bank.
Well, what about the excess profit tax?
That's nothing to do with me.
No, it's got something to do with us, though.
Why?
I borrowed 5 shillings from him and I bought a national defence bomb. Now, he hasn't got the 5 shillings and all I got is a certificate. What's happened to the money?
That goes to defend your home.
I haven't got a home.
Well, we'll dig you one. Yeah.
Like everybody else, the gang wants to do their bit.
Here,
Where's the tailor? Here. Make mine double-breasted with one hip pocket.
Get out of the road. Cut mine with the dicky seat. You take what we give you.
Yeah, I'm first. Cut mine on the slant.
36 and a half.
36 and a half.
36 and a half.
Not too tight underneath the arches. 36 and a half. 36 and a half. 36 and a half.
Yeah.
Have it sit round for me.
36 and a half. Oh, gotcha. 36 and a half. 36 and a half. 38.
38? Tell me, Mr. Shorthouse, how do you get this lovely physique? By getting up early in the morning and going straight back to bed.
This is the original soundstage at Lime Grove, where we started to shoot the Crazy Gang in the Siegfried line. The picture was called that, inspired by their famous wartime song.
We're gonna hang out the washing on the Siegfried line. Have you any dirty washing, mother dear? We're gonna hang